please don't spam people. Don't. Do you like to be spammed? How many of you get like calls that say potential spam?
Every day.
Every day, right? So don't do it. Because if you don't like it, other people don't. Happy birthday! Woo! A lot of September birthdays.
Oh my goodness.
Julie, Floyd, Colleen, Katie Vaughn. AZ. How old is AZ? Jordan, Jason, Scott, Klein, restaurant Parm, and Monique. And we got more, I think.
That's it.
Happy birthday to, is anyone here?
Jordan.
Tell me something good.
What's going on out there? What's this stuff?
I would,
Francine.
after almost 2 years working with these clients, they're finally ready to sell their property. Up and ready for it, Browns Valley. And I'm going up on Saturday for the listing agreement. So that's good news. I mean,
That's quite a drive.
It's an hour.
Yeah, it's got down there.
I'm not going any further than an hour. But it's not. I looked at it.
Congratulations.
2 years. Yeah.
Who else? Something good.
I got some pretty good news. I don't know if you guys know, our real estate agent Ariel has capped already this year, her first year in real estate. She's not here, she's at a home inspection, but she did it in 6 months. So super proud of her, so I can see her congratulating.
Yeah, and one of the follow up on that, Ariel wasn't just an experienced agent that joined their team. She was a brand new agent, and she's capped in like less than 6 months.
Yeah, she's rocking it. Just when you see her in passing, she's always got her head down, hitting the phones like you should be. But please just take a moment to congratulate her.
One more. Something good. That's out there.
Diana on Zoom said that she got her first listing. Diana now.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know, but she's been working off city really hard. She does a lot of, right? Like she really nurtures those people. They have them in the bed, if you will. So this is really great for her. She's been in the business, what, 2 years? She's left, come back. So good for her. Like that's awesome. Oh, Diana. Did I? Sorry. There you go.
This is just our values and our belief system. So God Family Business, we're on commitment in all things. If you want to have a great real estate career, you're gonna have commitment, right? And I think a lot of you know that already. And I think when I find that a lot of agents are struggling and I coach them, it's really a lack of commitment to do the job for their client, to do what you need to do on LinkedIn to actually make things work. So commitment in all things. So if you want a real estate career that is mighty and successful, you need it. And I know some of us like to think we're committing, but oftentimes if you come talk to me, I'll say, hey, here's the actual commitment level you need. And it's probably bigger than you thought it would be. But just note that's where the gold's on the other side. So. All right. Welcome to the family. Hey, Jesse, Luciana, and Ignacio.
I think they're all here.
They're all here.
Yeah.
A little bit stuff.
Well, I recently moved to Sacramento from Stockton. I am going to UC Davis, which is why I moved here. Sacramento is actually my hometown, and I moved out in high school against my will. But yes, I'm back. I eventually want to go to medical school, and real estate is going to help me get through that.
Awesome. Congratulations. We're happy to have you here as part of that. Ignacio, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I warned you.
Yeah.
What's that? Where are you coming from?
Okay. So I was born in Idaho, so I was raised in Mexico. I always wanted to study in other opportunities. And then in 2020 we got our first house, and then we went through 3 agents. The last agents really did an amazing job, and I always love sales, you know, I was something like, I always did like sell stuff before. And, that's when we started like thinking this could be something that I could do. And then I wanna help people, and I wanna be able to make more money too.
Handyman too.
Oh, perfect. Handyman, yeah. And he speaks Spanish. If you have Spanish referrals. And so you can give referrals there, so. It's, you know, it's getting on a lot, but I'm so happy to have you guys here. So, tell us a little about yourself, so.
You wanna go?
The story.
All right, so, we transplanted to California in 2015. Ran different corporate businesses, power plants and, agricultural feed. And then we ran a, food truck and restaurant here in Sacramento since 2016. And we closed up that business
Last December.
last December. So, and.
They're
jumped
all
into
in on
real
this
estate.
day, yeah.
Yeah, all in. Kind of been a dream for Lucia, honestly, for many years, and so this is the next step. We did the cooking. And now we're doing real estate.
Nothing better than good cooking in the house.
That's right. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We're super happy to have you here. Congratulations on your first transaction closed. Jordan, Tyrone, and Cody, congratulations. A new capper. Ron and Alicia Rios, congratulations. He just caps like on, you know, because he doesn't work with caps. He just got like two deals, right? Just caps, right? But congrats to Alicia. She used to be a capper for a long time and kind of semi-retired. And then she came to me about 3 years ago and said, hey, I want to like really retire and like get out of real estate and really retire, but I can't do that right now because my finances. So we did a deep dive and we talked about what she needed to do over the next 2-3 years to get to where she needs to be. And boom, we had that talk, and kudos to her, she implements, and she's now capped 2 years in a row. So congratulations to Alicia for capping. Let's close August to September so far. So Michael and Taylor 7 closes. Woo. Matwell 6, Eternity 4, Brian Jane 3, Rich 3, Ariel Afton, Jose Twan 2, AJ Alicia, Andre, Andy, Dennis, Janelle, Jackson, Jordan, Julian, Evan, Cody, Leslie, Lindsay, Raul, and Tyrone. Congratulations on everyone in their case. Does Bill say there's not still happening? Picture listings. Who's got listings?
I do.
Brittany, we do.
We have 2 in Dixon. One is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square feet. That's listed at $585. Open house this weekend. We have another one right around the corner from that. So if you have clients looking to Dixon, go to 2 of our listings. They're right there. This one's also a 3, 2.5, a little bit larger, really big lot and a loft. That one's listed at $599. That's going on the market tomorrow. We have a land listing 95838 listed at $299. Somebody across the street bought a lot almost the same size, split it into 4 units, put 4 houses on it. So if you have a developer, that's a small development that they could do, make a ton of money. We have AZ working on some schematics for that, for the engineering side, to say, hey, what's possible. That's all I can remember right now. A 4.2, 20, just under 2,100 square feet in Elk Grove. Buyers or sellers are moving to Kansas. They're in contract already. That was listed at $599. Great neighborhood, well manicured house, original owners. Go check that out. That's on Oglethorpe 10045 Oglethorpe. Bring a buyer for that one. Awesome.
Alright.
Not.
Okay, I have a listing, have been in the market for 1 month in Roseville, 6032 Summer Wayne. It was listed for $849. We lowered it to $799. And we're giving $10,000 to buy down interest rate. So if you have anybody, it's 1 story, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, and 2,100 square feet.
Was that?
So we have, near the West Shore community on Odessa. This one is a 4 bedroom, 3 full bathroom, a full bedroom and a bathroom on the first floor. You're looking at about 17.6 square feet, built in 2017, has an HOA of 113. It is vacant. They're on market about 2 weeks. We're looking for a buyer. So if you guys have a buyer, we would love to work with you in the office. Also, if anybody's looking to do open houses, we do have availability for that as well. List price is $515. It is a detached garage. It's on a corner of the community and it's 0.07 lot size. It's a nice, decent backyard size for a newer constructed community. If you guys have any questions, let us know, or you want to do open houses, let us know.
All right, thank you. Steve G.
Oh, we've got one coming up in Elk Grove. It's 3-2, about 1,200 square feet, 1994. We haven't exactly priced it yet. But we're looking between 450 and 460. And it's coming up soon, probably within 2 weeks. We should have it all finished up and ready to go. So, anyway, that one's, and oh, by the way, we've got your deal of the week, deal of the month, deal of the year, actually. 65,500. It's a 2-1 mobile manufactured home. It's ready for you. It's sitting right off of Roseville Road. And I mean, you know, it needs a little love, just a little love. But come check me out, and I'm
Deal of the year. Deal of the year.
Deal of the year.
What I'm talking about. Hey, this might not show up on your radar, that's why I'm letting you know. We have a brand new listing in Vallejo. It's a gated community, luxury condo, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, plus a big lot, 1,700 square feet. Now, here's the best part. Comps that just sold literally 2 weeks ago, 610, inferior to this condo. And I listed it for $579. And the reason why it's $30,000 less, the client has to move out of the country and he just needs his funds. Nothing wrong with the property, fully upgraded. The address is 7617 Princess Diana. We also have a couple of new listings coming up with the Thomas. Brian's gonna be listing one, we're listing one, so we'll let you know when it's listed.
John, does that have a backyard?
Absolutely,
It does?
low maintenance,
Is it a
beautiful
2-story or
backyard,
single-story?
2-story. Cool, thank you.
Sam.
Diana Nash is listing, right? She is 8100 Center Parkway. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,460 square feet at $395. There's an open house this weekend as well, 1 to 4 each day, I think. So bring your binder, she said, please.
That's it.
Yes, we just have a new rental in the pocket area on 500 Shaw, it's a duplex, a corner duplex. So it's really nice, it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,476 square feet, and it's 2395.
395. All right.
Which is low for the market these days.
Low.
I can tell you the average 3.2 is around 2,700 a month.
All right. That's it.
I did forget when I got one yesterday. This is an investment special. This is an investment special. It is,
Not the deal of the year.
36.
Not the deal of the year.
Dude. So this is actually, it's about a 100-year-old property. It is at 3619 51st Avenue. We're gonna do it off market. We're looking for investors. It is a flip property. The good news about this one, it's off Stockton Boulevard down there in the south. It is a third of an acre and the property sits, the house, single family residence sits on the front of the property. And there's an easement on the side or a driveway down the side where if you have another developer that can come in and put a duplex, we all know that housing crisis here, we need more homes. This is a perfect opportunity for not only just a flip to bring in equity in that property, so say they flipped it, refinanced, brought more funds out of it, and then develop a duplex in the back where they could fit in 2 more units. So this one, they're talking about 287. I don't know if it's gonna go that high, but I'll get a lockbox on that today or tomorrow. And if you have an investor client, reach out to my team and we'll get you lockbox access, bring them by. It's all gonna be off market. So
287,000?
yeah. It's 361950 per cat.
287. Deal of the century.
The
The century, okay, the century.
Not
That's a lot.
Well, I know, I forgot about the other one. Oh, you have another one. What are the SKW familia?
Fantastic. We do have another new list that we just put up in the Thomas Park, 5520 Dow Park. It is a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 2 bedrooms downstairs. You heard right, 2. One belongs to Jack, the other one belongs to Jill. All right, so, so great floor plan, 2-story, and 3-car garage, located on the best street. Seriously, the best street in Thomas Park, 5520 Dow Park. It's the best street because I used to live on the street for almost 15 years. Right across the street. Anyway, but the house is immaculate. Asking price is $869 to $990. Great an offer. We do have an offer already, but I don't think we're gonna put it together, so hurry up, it's still available. And Brian, are we doing open house this weekend? Yeah. Easy to show, so just let us know. Leslie and I just did a beautiful price reduction on our listing in Whitney Ranch. I pitched it a couple of weeks ago. I'm shocked that we're still on the market, but we still are. We just dropped it to $930. We're priced well, 3,400 square feet. Gorgeous property with the clubhouse, $84 a month HOA, one of the best school districts. You guys have to see the video room. It is, I mean, it's like your own personal cinema. I'm not exaggerating, it's nuts.
And the better part, beautiful golf course.
Beautiful golf course.
So beautiful.
So it's an Austin area, open house this week in both Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4. Easy to show. Again, we just dropped it to $930. Comps are there all day long. And you will not be disappointed.
Congratulations, Tomas, thank you. Anyone else, picture listings? All right, we got some news here coming up. Vince, new agent site upgrades. Vince, where are you? All right,
You never know if I'm gonna play it.
Just really quick, aging sites have been upgraded. You have the option to do it if you want to. There are a couple caveats with this. Once you upgrade, there is no rolling back. Don't ask me, don't ask Zach, don't call 1-800, call Gary. It's not gonna happen at all. So if you are reluctant to do it, don't do it. Second thing, if you have landing pages that you use quite often through command, you will not have access to edit those anymore. They will not transfer over to the new platform. They will still be live. You will just need to copy down the URLs so that you can still use them, but you will not be able to edit them. So if you currently edit those every open house, whatever it is you're doing, you will not have access to those. Number 3, any reviews or testimonials that you have on your agent site will also not carry over. You'll need to copy those down and add them back into the new site. We're going from the old platform, which is completely different to what we're doing now. It's a completely new platform where we can bring in a lot of different stuff. It is very nice. There's a lot of cool features and things that are going to be added here in the future. Home valuation tool is coming very, very soon. And David, I asked, I don't know about agent sites yet, so you still have to wait on that one because he asks me all the time. But we are adding new features as the year progresses. So if you have any questions, you want to know how to do it, because I'm not going to tell you how to do it, because I don't want random people just doing it and come to me later and say, Vince, I didn't mean to do it. Come find me and we'll talk about it.
I have a question. Who actually knows you have a KW agent website?
Damn,
Okay.
I have done my job.
So I do recommend if you haven't been engaging at a high level, make the move over. It's a better platform and it'll be a better website in the future. So if you can make that transition, I encourage.
And if you just want to talk about it, just let me know. We can set up an appointment, we can go over everything, so.
Thank you, Vince, tech trainer extraordinaire. So. Ignite is back. We're happy to have Ignite back. It's starting Monday and Wednesdays, 3:30 to 5, starting next week.
Yep, September 18th.
So if you're a newer agent, or maybe you just need a refresher, if you haven't Dove Ignite, I highly, well, if you're doing, it's required to do Ignite, so. It's starting on Monday, Wednesday, 3:30 to 5, and this time is what we're trying to accommodate based on feedback, so we moved it to the later afternoon for people, so.
No later.
What?
I just said no later.
No, later. No, we're doing it over your plan.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
But it's super awesome. Ignite is now officially 2.0, and so the content is all new. And so we are happy to be rolling that out to you. And we have some great guest speakers. I'm going to be teaching some, and we're going to have a few other teaching some. So it's taught by the top agents in our office. So please participate. All right, River Cats coming up September 15th, this Friday. We're gonna be grilling. I don't know what grill we're gonna have, but we're gonna be grilling. So, but we're gonna be doing some famous chicken, which but some hot dogs, some hot wings. Let's do the tailgate together, hit the game. If you want to do the grass, just remember it's low chairs, not full seat chairs, low chairs or a green blanket. That was all right. Buy your tickets here, 15th. We'd love to see you there. So,
John,
yes.
the tailgate, is there a designated area yet that you will be tailgating?
We unfortunately, when we do it, we kind of have to drive there that day and they give us a designated spot. So
We maybe feel like the previous years and things like that.
there'll be a text announcement that happens where we are so that you can see where this is. And I'll post it in our group too. We're right here, back to Red Lobster. Well, all right. Thursday, September 21st, not this Thursday, next Thursday. Please join us, mixer, we have drinks, food, potluck style, and it's super fun actually. We just talk and a lot of fun. Get to meet, you know your ages. Oh, candy drive, just know we are coming up on Halloween already. And some of those who are new to our office, just know we have a trunk or treat we do, and this thing is crazy. It is the scene.
Crazy, 100 people last year.
It was somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000. It was crazy amount of people. Literally, I will task certain agents just to do traffic management, like go that way, like, and try not to get hit. So it's a lot. Everyone in northern Sacramento comes to this thing. It is crazy. We actually, PBS kids will have a booth there too. They called us and said, we want to be at your place. We're like, okay. So,
Same with SAC PD, Helen and Dana organized SAC PD being there, so they're gonna have like a.
and if you were there last year, we have the city council and mayoral candidates there because they were glad handing everybody.
Oh my gosh.
So it is the seat. So it would be awesome for your clients. It's an awesome experience. So please invite your family and friends. Trust me, it is a great experience. And there's nothing like posting a trunk and seeing your clients walk by with their kids.
And the kids were lined up all the way back down to the old office.
Yeah, they were like all the way down there, right? So it is super fun. Please, we're looking for people to trunk decorators. So we do it right in here. So we are looking for people who want to have their trunk displayed. Yes, Sandy.
For the candy drive, you guys saw the silly pumpkin? We're looking for people to get bags of candy and fill the pumpkin. For every bag of candy you bring in, and I hate to say it, but you can't go to the dollar store and buy dollars for a bag. Okay, you can't be dollar store. Any other bag of candy that you bring in, you get a raffle ticket. However many raffle tickets you collect, right? We will keep the other half, and on 10/25, the team meeting before trunk or treat, we will be giving out $100 cash to whoever wins the raffle. So please help us. You guys know how much candy we go through. It's a lot. The office will also be matching candy as well. So help, please.
So we need candy because inevitably you guys don't have your trunks and you think you have enough candy and you don't. And so we end up giving you lifelines of candy bags because you're gonna run out soon.
Yeah, we also need you guys to bring your own candy in your trunk too. This is to replenish the trunk.
Yeah, no,
Crystal
not
clear.
So 6 p.m. 27, if you're
Yep.
gonna be decorating, you need to be there like 4 o'clock to decorate because we're gonna start blocking off things and crowd control and moving some things. So please be here. If you park over here during that day, we'll come and say, move your car if you're not gonna be participating. So, all right. But it's a super great event to invite your clients and your friends and family to. Please take advantage of it. All right. Capital Wealth Builders, Rich.
Yes. Unfortunately, Bobby can't be here to talk to everybody what's going on. So, who here knows Bobby Peterson? Who here doesn't know Bobby? So Bobby is one of our top agents here. He's run a very awesome flip company, and they started Capital Wealth Builders. So we all as agents can go get value from people like that do flips, buy and hold, burr strategies. And this is a great method to meet people, meet other investors, because not every investor is an agent. So I've been to 3 of these events. I have a listing referral in Indio coming up. I have 2 listings coming up in the next 12 months from that. We have several different buyers that are investors that we earn from this as well. And we also get to learn ourselves on how to flip properties. So they actually have a few keynote speakers that run their own 3 separate different companies from San Diego and Southern California that are flying up to show their strategies. But not only do you get to meet people, potential clients, other agents that may be able to send you deals when you get into your flipping side or bring it into your investor group, right? But they have Jason Pritchard. He's doing a mastering flip game. He does over 70 flips a year. So just imagine, even in this market where you're only making 30,000 on a flip, times 70, right? Dean Rogers does over 500 plus transactions yearly on this, and they're going to come and give you tips and tools. This is going to be next Wednesday, September 20th, 6 o'clock at Crawdads. There's no cover charge, anything like that. Just come here, learn, and get to meet other individuals and maybe grow your investment pool as well. So, like I said, it's a free event next Wednesday, 6 p.m. at Crawdads. So hopefully we'll see you all there. I know JBRG, all of our sales department's going to be there. So,
And just so you know, I hear from a lot of you, like, I dream of the future.
Right.
Well, there's no better place to learn than just coming. The reason we're promoting this is because it's our own agent helping, pouring out to the community, you guys, to help you guys learn.
yep, they have a meetup where you can sign in on that or register for the event. I think the office might put something out on that, or you can go to Bobby's Facebook page. But yeah, this, like I said, I have a listing referral in Indio, about 700,000, so 25% on that. 2 listings here locally in the next 12 months, plus a buyer out of that. And I have great contacts for hard money lenders as well. So we're getting a lot of value of that, and I think all of you can as well. So hopefully we'll see you guys there.
Woo. Regional events, we have some regional events come up. Tickets now, we have Multiply, we're gonna have Jason Abrams, all our top people in Keller Williams teaching this class. It is only $20. It's actually a fundraiser for KW Cares. As you know, the Hawaii fires and now we have hurricanes, all these things, we spend a lot of money. And actually, if you know, there's a lot more natural disasters happening. And so KW Cares is spending a lot of money every year helping agents in those areas and their clients recover from these disasters. So they started this thing. We're gonna have Mo Anderson, Beverly Center, Marketing, Jay Capron, and others, 20 people teaching us Multiply. It would pay here, but we just ask that you participate. It is on October 12th, 9 Central, so it'll start 9 Central here in the office, but it's called Multiply. It's $20. Please scan and participate. We're just looking for a $20 donation. All the donation goes to KW Cares to help agents in need. So I'm super excited. Bold is coming back October. First step is October 10th. That's right. First step is October 10th. We'll be going all the way through December 5th, taking Thursday off. If you have not been through Bold, and if you haven't met David Bernal, the coach, he is the most. I've been to 9 Bolds, and I've had Cody Gibson as a coach, and I still say he is the best coach I've ever had. He has changed our real estate team, my mindset a lot. I've personally talked with him several times, and I can't stress enough how integral this Bold is going to be to you. Just so you guys know, August was about 58% down on transactions closed compared to August last year. Right. So the people that are going to actually do the other 40% transactions through this 3rd quarter and 4th quarter are the people that are actively doing the work and lead generating. If you have trouble doing that yourself, you need to go to Bold. It will be through the 3rd and 4th quarter. It will help you tremendously. The average agent that goes through Bold does 11 transactions. The average agent does Bold. And the best part about it is we do reimbursement. So if you have not capped, literally, we will reimburse you $200 on every closed deal through Bold and 90 days after Bold. $200. So all you have to do is 4 deals and we will pay you back for your whole investment, $7.99 to take this class. First step is free. If that's an issue, just please get the first step up in Roseville. We're super excited to have this happen. I am gonna push you. I am going to cajole you and drag you there, because I believe it will help you. But please find out. We already have 10 signups in our office already, so we're gonna have a good presence there, and you're gonna meet a lot of great agents there. Okay, Family Reunion in Las Vegas, 25th through 29th. Please sign up now. The price is cheaper. It will go up.
It already went up.
Oh, went up. Too bad. We're going to have a lot of people there. This is a tremendous event, and it's Las Vegas on the West Coast. We're on the West Coast round. It only happens once every 3 years, so let's take advantage of it. And it's Las
John's
Vegas.
renting a party bus.
I'm renting a party bus. No. I am super happy. This man needs no introduction. He already his reputation precedes itself up. If you don't know Ryan Lundquist, you should. But welcome, Ryan. He is our appraiser extraordinaire and master of this market here in Sacramento. So welcome, Ryan. So.
No slides.
No slides today. Good to see everybody. I'm really glad to get to be here. And next month, I think it's in a few weeks, I'm going to give a massive presentation. Your brain's going to hurt. We're going to talk for an hour. I'm going to have all these slides. But today, I've asked us to come in and do Q&A. And so I figured I'd give a little spiel about the market, and then let's just field questions. You want to talk about comps, the market, stats, appraisers, horror stories, you know, I'm here for them. And so, but the market is pretty weird right now. Has anyone noticed?
No.
I feel like it's the creepy analogy that I keep using is that it's the love child between 2007 volume and 2020 competition. So it's like we have some of the worst volume we've ever seen in the market in Sacramento County, but then it feels ultra competitive. Yeah, I just wrote about today, like, is it 2007 again? It feels like 2007 with the number of sales, but it feels like 2020 in terms of competition. And the huge difference today, we're not seeing supply come to the market. Okay. Now there's been about 15,000 listings in the region. Like, share stats like that with people, and people are, nobody is selling. That's not true. It's just, but then it's sobering when you go, wow, we're missing about 40% of the listings that should be here. Okay, about 12,000 listings. Okay, so but we're in a market where in 2007 you saw inventory tripled. Actually, 2005 to 2006 we hit our price peak, and then supply tripled in 1 year. And then so right now we don't have that dynamic today. So it's a different market. It's just very strange, but things are definitely softening for the season. Has everyone noticed? Absolutely. I feel like sometimes in May and June, we start to see these subtle signs, and then sometimes the real estate community lives in denial. We're like, no, we can't say that the market's softening, but it happens every year. And so far this year, it hasn't been like last year. Do you remember last year? It was like a crash landing. It felt like the oxygen masks were coming down, and it was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And this year, a lot of the stats are fairly normal, not sharp like last year. So I'll be pushing out a ton of stuff to kind of unpack that. But what questions do you have? Do you want to talk shop? If everyone's ready to go, I mean, that's fine too, because I got a lot of deadlines today. But what questions do you have about the market, appraisals, value, that kind of stuff? John.
Where do you see fourth quarter, first quarter? Where do you see the market? I know we have seasonality at the same time we have this interest rate problem. So how do you see those things playing out in the spring?
So that's always the X factor. What is going to happen in the future? I can't predict if the Kings are going to make the playoffs again. I sure hope they do. Very hard to predict real estate, but what we should see in a normal year, what we're seeing right now is sort of normal seasonal descent. The airplane is not crash landing, but it's going down for the rest of the year. Lower volume, it's going to take longer to sell. There will be fewer properties going above the list price, like all that normal stuff that we see. We should see, if we have a normal rest of the year, more concessions, so tell your buyers that, okay? More credits, those sorts of things. Next year, I anticipate that we're going to see a spring uptick. Do you know why? Because the spring uptick happens every single year. Even in 2006 and 2007, the market was really in a bad place. But do you know what happens? in January, we start to see demand increase. And so I would bet money on that, that we're going to see more attention on the real estate market because there's that normal rhythm. Okay, now rates go up to 8%. Oh man, we're going to see more buyers back on. Rates go down, then we're going to see more buyers enter. Okay, and so it's just one of those things where I think we have to watch these certain things. I think every single week there's this new thing that's going to crash the market. I would say this though, prices have not crashed. I would say that volume has crashed though. So we can split hairs, people can argue with me over that, but there's every single week, there's something new, sensational to talk about. It's the vacant homes and there's too many vacant homes. It's Airbnb or, it's, apartments being built and, Sacramento is number 5 in the whole state. And there's, we're going to actually have 2,400 new apartments this year. And that's fantastic news. We need them. And so I would say be careful about the sensational news. There's no shortage of it. Here's a stat. Foreclosures increased by 800% this year. Sounds alarming, right? You know what that means? There were 8 bank sales this year in August, and then there was 1 last year. And so, so sometimes people can abuse stats. You take stats out of their context, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, 800% increase, we're all gonna die. And that's that's not true. We will all die though. So, what else? Yes.
It seems like there's been this little bump, like September, October, we kind of thought we were going in for a landing, but now we decided to go back up because the wheels weren't down. So September, do you see anything like September, October, maybe just a little bit of hope for sellers to put their house on the market? And then I wanted to also ask you, are you seeing a flat line on the values coming in at the appraisal level in homes, because it seems like the pricing's been holding? So I just wanted to speak a little bit about appraisal.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of demand, yeah, there's that spring descent, and the airplane doesn't drop out of the sky, from 20,000 feet to 100, and so we start to see the temperature change slowly, but there is one last bump, one last rush to the market. It's a pre-holiday rush. We typically see more sales in December than November. Do you know why? Because more people rush the market before Turkey Day, and then these properties close in December. And so it just shows, it lines up with what you're saying. And so I would be ready for that. Demand doesn't, the car is no longer going 100 miles per hour, but it still is moving forward, but it's not that same thing. And so, should a seller list? I mean, I would think a lot of sellers probably list, they start weighing, do I want to list right now or wait until the spring? A lot of people say, I'm just going to wait. I mean, who knows? I don't think there's a wrong or right answer, but it's going to be circumstantial. Appraisals, it's going to be very hit and miss. I'm not getting a lot in my DMs about, low appraisals, so to speak. I am seeing some stuff. Sometimes people send me reports. That's not a volunteer to review your reports. Happy to talk with you though. If you text me first, happy to maybe give you a few ideas about what to do. But yeah, I mean, it's not massive. Like in early 2021, it was off the charts. What is going on? Because the market was going up so fast, people paying above appraised value. I would say, if anything, though, prices have been pretty level lately. But it's also a situation where, have you noticed, it's either multiple offers or it's crickets. And so I think that's a really good way to describe the market. Prices are very similar to where they were actually 1 year ago. One of the hard parts about today's market is comps. If we have 40% fewer sales, guess what we have? 40% fewer comps. And if we have about 40% fewer listings, guess what? We have 40% fewer listings and pending. And so how do we wrap our mind around value? We can always go out further to look for comps further away. That's fine. But we can also go back further in time right here in this neighborhood. I think we have to do both. Okay. Be very aware of when a property got into contract. On the county level, prices are down about 6 to 7% from May 2022. Okay, we haven't reached back to that level, but do you remember last year? Prices were screaming down. It was that airplane moment. Everyone's freaking out. We're down 15%, like in a really, really short period of time, and then a spring rebound happened. Okay, why did the spring rebound happen? Does anyone know?
Scary.
Is it out?
Right.
It's normal. Is that a cricket or something?
Yeah.
So it's normal to see that in the spring market. We should see more a rebound. There was even a slight price uptick in 2007 in the spring, okay, for a few months before avalanche. But we also, do you know what sellers started doing in 2023? They really contracted. Okay, sellers have been stepping back for a few years, but the stat has really been on steroids lately, since 2023. So changed the trend. It went from sort of an ice pass to all of a sudden, wow, what's going on in this market? It's competitive again. What else? Anyone? Yeah, Stephen T.
In reference to, maybe challenging that appraisal, just pull your resources together and just, present it to them, because I've had a situation that, but it was a drive-by, they had done a drive-by, and, we were able to accomplish that mission and get the higher amount that we wanted.
Yeah. And so kind of know who's coming out to the property. I'm an advocate for meet the person, especially in a market like today where lenders are pushing a product where it might be a property inspector who's going out to the property. And then what they do, this inspector who's not an appraiser, then they send the information to the appraiser does the value part, so to speak. I'm not a huge fan of that model, but it's a model that's really being pushed for a lot of different reasons. And so meet the appraiser out there, but I always say the best time to challenge a low appraisal is before the appraisal happens. Okay? Come with all the information, and as soon as an appraisal comes in lower, it's like, but we had 7 offers and I'm like, well, why didn't you share all that, from the get-go? Okay, if you need an information sheet, I have an information sheet. If you Google cheat sheet, Sacramento appraisal blog, it'll come up, download that, meet the appraiser in person, tell the story of the property, give the appraiser all the data to consider. So then hopefully it won't be a problem. Sometimes people will say, like, I remember one listing in Sacramento, the person was like, the only properties like this are in Napa. And I was like, okay. It's gonna be really fun working with you. Like, guess what? Napa prices are a little different than Sacramento.
I've got a question, because what you said, so I was informed over the last few years that as a real estate agent, we were not supposed to open dialogues with the appraisers ahead of the appraisal being done. And that was a result of all the stuff, all the bad stuff that was happening in 2007 leading up to the crash. But you're saying it is okay for us to.
It's okay, but if you have tattoos, it's not okay for you. No. Yeah, you can absolutely talk to the appraiser. There's a myth in real estate. It's perpetuated, since the beginning of time, since we were etching appraisals in stone, right? And so, yes, you can talk. No, you can't coerce, and so like my information sheet, it's all about facts and perspective. There's nothing in there like, hey, I really need you to, hit this number because I haven't closed the deal in 3 months. It's a tough market, dancing on the side or like whatever it is, like there's none of that. And so I would say be really careful not to steer the value because you're governed by ethics. And you've got to not cross the line in your heart or in your words, and you know where that line is when you're trying to push for something. And so I would say share information in an objective manner because that gives the appraiser facts to consider. And so what I want to know is like the questions that I ask are the ones that I put on my sheet. So I always want to ask an agent, if I was appraising when you're listening, I would say, what feedback did you get from potential buyers and agents? That's awesome. Open concept, it was, the kitchen cabinets, it's a school district, whatever was important. How many offers did you get and what price points? What were you offering for credits and concessions? Okay. And I'll even ask, what properties did you use to price this? Okay, if an appraiser ever asks that to you, guess what? That probably means like, I don't think. And oftentimes agents will be like, no, I just want you to, I don't want to interfere with your job, and I'm like, okay, the agent is probably communicating to me that there aren't comments. And so, we speak without speaking sometimes. So, but yeah, keep it as objective as possible. Yeah, please, like, uphold your ethics and I'll uphold mine. I think that's the name of it. Yes.
there's many times I've gotten phone calls or emails from other appraisers asking me those very same questions. How did I come to list price? Or were there any concessions? What was the condition of that property? You know, because they're trying to appraise another property within that neighborhood or similar. Is it okay for me? I'm making the assumption, I'm always making the assumption, I never understand. But that it's okay for me to share pertinent information that would be knowledgeable to everybody.
Yeah, as long
Within
as,
the
yeah,
MLS.
yeah, as long as, like, it's okay with your broker, you're not disclosing anything confidential, absolutely. Keep in mind that if I'm appraising his listing and I'm calling other agents, the information I get from them, particularly about her pending and his pending, in Whitney Ranch, I believe it's gonna happen, okay?
Amen.
And when I talk to both of them, and then I'm looking at sales, and then I get information, yes, we're actually in contract, 20,000 above, with 0 credits, like that type of data can be really influential and important for the appraiser.
I normally don't get the calls though until after it's already closed.
Correct, but and think about it this way too, if you don't like appraisers calling, it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. You know, I'm gonna get a lot of calls that I don't necessarily want to take sometimes myself, but appraisers are, when they're appraising your property, what they should be doing is calling other agents.
Right.
And so you're, I think, helping your agent community when you're answering questions. So please do that. Who else? Anything? Yeah.
Question regarding what I'm seeing a lot of rentals being built, of, you know, apartment complexes. I mean, we've got several of them going on here in the Thomas. Do you see that having an impact on sales? And in other words, people are able to get into apartments, but not necessarily buy, and that might impact the number of people who are actually, you know, trying to buy homes.
Well, you know, it could, over time, we need more units of all kinds, and over time, we get more units that can lower rents, okay? Now, I would say, on one hand, though, I've never met a person who's like, well, you know, I'm gonna buy a house because of my apartment situation. Like, if the numbers work, they can do that. One of the struggles today is that it's by far more costly to buy a house than rent. Okay, years ago, it was like, here's the cost of rent, and the math really worked, the cost to buy. And I mean, you do a mortgage calculator and, you know, the mortgage comes out to $5,000, but then the rent is $2,200. That's very, very tough. And so I don't see more apartments helping people buy. I would see, if anything, we get more units, there's just more opportunities for people to rent until something happens with affordability, okay? And that's the harsh reality, but that's why, I mean, in today's market, it's like the cute little images that people share about renting versus buying, like the math part, throw that junk out. But I think the lifestyle part is the valid thing that, hey, my wife and I really want to live in El Dorado County and we're moving to Thomas, or someone that just moved from Rockland and they're downsizing into Thomas. Okay, or they have incentive like, because, you know, stuff going on with the family, or, you know, we need a larger house, a smaller house, different school district. You know, it's those lifestyle buyers. Everyone else is sort of in this sitting game. Rent is not your friend right now because it's a lot lower. It's just the truth. So if you have a situation, I would love to see practically any situation in the market where it's actually cheaper to buy than rent. Very difficult. And so, you know, doesn't, you know, and that weeds out a lot of people, but the thing that I think about is that there's almost 8,000 missing sales this year in the region, you know, but it's also, there's 11,000 that have happened, you know, and so it's kind of like one of those mindset things. It's like, well, what do we focus on? The part that's missing or the part that's happening? And I know what I want to focus on, what keeps, you know, keeps me going anyway. So,
Right.
yes.
Do you think with the amount of new apartments being built, is that gonna have an influence on the prices dropping as well?
For single family detached homes?
Yeah, because like you made it, I mean, you're right, you know, you can rent somewhere for $2,700, but you can buy it for like $4,000.
Yeah.
Do you think that's gonna have an impact on price?
You know, it's hard to say. I mean, on one level, I don't have commercial stats that I push out. I would say we're not in a position where we're seeing a profound oversupply of units. Okay. Now, if we had, you know, there's units that are very visible on Arden or, you know, Folsom, different parts of the freeway. We see them because we're driving right there, right? There's a lot of places you're driving in town, there's not apartments happening. And so I would say we're not in an oversupply situation. it's actually good news to get more units. I think it helps everyone with affordability. I wouldn't bank on that sort of lowering prices for the rest of the market, though. There's just, all the other forces are so much bigger, namely mortgage rates, rather than apartment rent. That's what buyers are gonna be looking at, so. So we'll see. I have heard sort of kind of some housing doom crash narrative. So anytime I share stats, it's like, this is gonna crash the market. I shared this cool limit the other day, but it's like positive. I'm like, man, Sacramento is #2 on the list in California for Sacramento County, the number of apartments this year. That's awesome that we make it a positive list, okay? Anyway, so. Yes,
2 questions, right?
just one, but okay.
I'll combine.
Okay, there we go.
So, listing in Whitney Ranch, I mentioned earlier, but it has a media room, state of the art.
Yeah.
It's not permitted. My client is a contractor and he overbuilds things, so it's structurally, it's overbuilt. He's got all the pictures from beginning to end. Approximately 250 square feet.
It's in the house,
In the
like
house, yeah.
converted attic or something. maybe?
It was a lot, high ceilings area, and then
Yeah.
it kind of added a lot. And like I said, it's done professionally.
Yeah.
That's, it's meticulous. That's my first question. My first question is, how would the appraiser look at that? I think I already know the answer, but I want to hear from you specifically. Second one, the listing that we have in the Thomas Park, has a permitted sunroom, about approximately 250 square feet as well. How's the appraiser gonna be looking at both of those?
Okay, so a lack of permits, I'll say this, it gets very frustrating, and sometimes people are like, those appraisers, like, I talked to 3 appraisers, they give me a different opinion. I'm like, you know where the problem came in was when the owner didn't get permits, because what that did, that infused uncertainty in the transaction, because you don't know how our buyer's gonna respond, how our appraiser's gonna respond, how our lender's gonna respond, and when they're like, hey, don't be counting this as square footage, and so, can it count in the value? Yeah, if the appraiser can support that, that's what the lender's gonna say. We want you to support the market's willing to pay for this. Very difficult to do. Okay, show me the comps where agents are like, this part was not permitted. That's hard to find in MLS, right? My experience is that buyers tend to pay for quality. Okay, if something is really nice, they tend to pay for quality, and I might recognize that if I would look, gosh, the comps are somewhere between 925 and 935, as if it was that tight, right? If something is really nice, maybe I'm gonna inch up my final value to the higher ends, because it's not like I can really adjust for that. It's not gonna be in the square footage though, most likely. A sunroom, someone just called me about a transaction with a sunroom, and tax records included the sunroom. And unfortunately, the appraiser gets out there and the appraiser's the bad guy or the bad gal and says, yeah, there's no heat source. This is not square footage. And the owner's like, but I spent $18,000 on it. That's really nice, but you just called it a sunroom, which is a tell that it's not part of the house, right? And so, how's the appraiser gonna handle that? What would the house be with and without the sunroom? What would be worth? I think we've got to maybe come up with some sort of an adjustment. Look, if someone paid $18,000 for it and then I'm adjusting at $50,000, that seems a little lopsided with buyer behavior. If I'm adjusting at 1,000, I don't know, that seems a little lopsided too. There's got to be some advantage there. If I was the agent, I would try to find other homes with sunrooms though, to prove what the market's willing to pay.
We have so much inventory, so it's easy.
Oh, like, it's so easy. It's like, hey, what is that new faucet worth? Just compare homes. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where, like, you can look in a neighborhood like the city though, not that you would do this there, but there's really expensive sunrooms. Sometimes it's because seniors are getting taken for a ride by contractors, but you can compare and contrast. And I would just say, oh man, you paid how much for that thing? And well, I don't know. It's not going to be that much in the comps. The market might give a little bit. Maybe it's marketing more than anything. Hopefully there's some value there.
Does it help to provide any receipts or et cetera to the appraiser?
Yeah, I would provide, if an appraiser was coming to my house this afternoon, I would have my information sheet filled out. Part of that is recent upgrades, and I'm going to have costs of everything, right? I'm not going to assume that the appraiser knows what an HVAC costs. But I want to say like, hey man, this sucker was like 15 grand. I don't want the appraiser to be like, it was, cost 2,000. No way, buddy. I spent, 20,000 on my fences or whatever it is. Like, I want to know the costs. I'm not going to expect that a buyer is going to actually pay that. Or when we replaced our sewer line, I gave my wife a sewer line for Christmas a few years ago. And it was $14,000 because there was all this concrete that needed to be ripped up, over 100 feet. It was insane. Would someone really pay more for my house? I doubt it, But you know what I would get in the next house I ever buy? A sewer inspection.
Yes, a question. I'm not sure if this correlates right, but we're seeing a lot of, I'm sure everybody's felt this, insurance pulling out
Yeah.
of California, not just specifically Sacramento, but California as well. I'm curious, what impact does that have when insurance is harder to get for different properties? Say, we're going out into the hills, right, with their California Fair Plan stuff because they can't get insured anywhere else. How is that affecting the appraiser's value on property in those conditions?
So that's a really good question. I actually put out some really cool graphs. I pulled some stats from the California Department of Insurance to show what's happening in various counties with how many insurers are initiating withdrawals, how many are dropping them, and how many fair plan. Sacramento County, fair plan hardly exists. Fair plan is huge in Placer and El Dorado, not a shocker. That sort of stuff is baked into the market though, because all the comps are subject to the same thing, unless you're next to the fire station, and that's a whole nother issue though, right? But it's almost like something that you don't have to think about too much from a valuation standpoint if all the comps are right there and they all have fair plan issues. But I think that the market response, my sense was that during the pandemic, buyers were rushing to outlying areas and they didn't care so much about, all the extra fire insurance costs because they were so enamored with I can work from home and live wherever I want. And we'll see if that sort of retracts. My concern is that what we're starting to see, there's some places in Roseville, like tract subdivision, stucco, tile homes where, the insurer is dropping them and they're not like in a fire area, so to speak, near Auburn, but somehow the lines are being drawn in such a way where you can start to see that being an impact. And so if we start to see those types of homes have issues and have to go fair plan, that's something that we have to consider. And if this one subdivision, has the issue and the other one doesn't, we're gonna have to be experts in the way we choose comps.
Especially going up like El Dorado Hills where they're building all those homes out, and that's right here, California.
Yeah, and so, but that's where it's I think when the market changes, we have to change what we do. And so the buyer should immediately be talking to an insurance agent that you have good relationship with. Stay in your lane, but you better start to know a lot more about insurance in order to anticipate these issues. Like when a buyer who's shopping in Auburn that I talked to, that buyer knows that they're gonna pay about $750 a month for fire insurance. If that buyer had no idea, it's wasting everyone's time. You gotta have some general ballpark. But yeah, we're sort of at this inflection where a lot of insurance agents, they're starting to struggle and pull out or have caps for how many people they can help each month. It's kind of an interesting trend. Be careful about it though. We don't want to do what we do to the California narrative. Everyone's leaving the state when it's that's not statistically true, even though it feels like it's true. But same thing with insurance, nobody can get insurance, and okay, there are people getting it. It becomes a huge problem though if people can't start to get it. So my antennas are up. So they don't listen to it.
Any last questions?
If you have a pool, if you have two comps, exactly as say one with the pool, one without, what's the value of the pool?
Well, what's the value of the pool? And if you have with and without a pool, the ideal would be to let me find with and without a few different examples. Okay, because what if this one sold for way, it just sold too high? And so if we line up a few different examples, it just depends on what the market's showing. Above $1 million, there's an expectation for buyers to have a pool. I actually, not to bore you with the story then I promise to close, but I talked to someone who has a listing. It's, I'll say above 1.2 million. And an experienced investor who called me last week, actually Facebook Messenger, and said, the property's not selling, what's the deal? And I wasn't gonna, look up comps for free because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's all I'll do with my life if I say yes. But I said, tell me about what is getting in the contract. And what he came back with me was, and I said specifically, do you have a pool? No. You have a 2-story. And so I said, tell me about the comps. And turns out 5 of the 6 pendings, do you know what they had at this price point? pools and single story. So a pool in that situation is probably worth way more than, like, I finished an appraisal in Carmichael last night, and it looked like it was somewhere between 20 and 30,000 in this price segment, okay? This house sold for 470, the other one was 445 and 450, like, you know, in that situation, in Placer County, above 1.2 million, the adjustment is probably a lot more because buyers expect that to be there, so there is no answer, unfortunately, but fortunately, that keeps us all employed. You know, AI just does everything, right? Anyway, I don't want to overstay my welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And, have fun, go sell some homes.